Hello everybody, this is Joanne speaking here, and welcome to Paleo Reviews. After being a procrastinator and lazy, I decided to take the opportunity to finally watch Netflix's Life on Our Planet, a documentary series from October 2023. I saw all 8 episodes that came out so far, and I'm saying so far because apparently I heard there will be 4 more episodes coming out, which is a little concerning given my overall thoughts on this documentary. I'm not expecting it to be a Prehistoric Planet clone, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate it being its own thing. So, Netflix's Life on Our Planet? I can't really say that I love it, honestly. I'm on the neutral side with this documentary. It's not unbearably terrible, I don't hate it, it's just okay. Life on Our Planet has lovely visuals, and in numerous ways, it is entertaining. It does have some good things, but at the same time, it's not a good documentary. I was told once that this documentary is perfect for an audience that's not been exposed to too much information before it came out, and yeah, I can absolutely see why. On the entertaining side, it's not bad, but the bad part would be that for the general viewers, it's going to take attention away from the most recent studies of these animals and mislead people as well. Plus, even if I chose to ignore those studies, it's still hard to ignore some of the problems I have. First things first, I want to talk about the good parts of Life on Our Planet from late 2023. One little detail I like was when Life on Our Planet shows a little timeline at the bottom of the screen for where a scene from many years ago took place. I thought that was a really nice touch. This documentary also has beautiful visuals with the environments, and for the most part, the CGI looks pretty good. Another thing I enjoyed was that this documentary showed not just the extinction of the dinosaurs, but also the other 4 mass extinctions that happened before the dinosaurs died out. That, along with the sequence of Pangaea splitting apart, was something I really don't recall seeing in other documentaries I've watched before, and it's really cool when a documentary brings more attention to these events. Last thing I want to point out is the music. While I can see why some people have issues with the music, saying how it's over-dramatic and overblown, but for me, I actually enjoy the music, and it didn't really bother me at all, in my opinion. Now, on to the problems I personally have with it, and there's plenty to talk about. I'm already aware that there are a lot of problems with scientific accuracy of these extinct animals. However, there's already a lot of people and sources pointing them all out, and I'm only going to go over stuff that really irked me. There are several problems I can ignore, but there are some I just can't look past, and they just make me shake my head. Number 1, Dynastys. Mercy me. This documentary has the same problem as the original Walking With series. It's reeked with a huge spiel on portraying animals and other creatures as dynasties, supremacies, etc. Especially the first episode. Every time I hear dynasty, I die a little bit on the inside.
Dynasty.
I find this whole war between dynasties thing to be absolute bullcrap. All living beings, including the dinosaurs, are not trying to take over the world or be superior to another species. That's not how evolution works, dagnabbit. They're only trying to live their lives and survive. Evolution isn't even supposed to be like a game, you know? Oh, and just to be clear, I have nothing against Morgan Freeman as narrator, okay? It's not his fault at all. It's the crew behind this documentary. And it's not just the extinct animals that got the dynasty treatment. The animals that are currently alive today got the treatment as well in this show. One example would be the scene where it showed penguins and marine iguanas. It boiled down to, oh, these lizards are slow-moving animals, but these penguins are efficient and awesome at catching fish. Yada yada yada. That felt so wrong because to me it screamed birds are superior to reptiles, which again, absolute bullcrap. Animals having a different way of catching food or eating food has nothing to do with supremacies or being dynasties or all that crap. Again, they're just doing their own thing. What else can they do? Now, FYI, with the Walking With series, I can look past the dynasty talk because it's an old series that ran from the late 90s to the early 2000s. They get a free pass on this one. But with Netflix's Life on Our Planet, my word, this came out in late 2023 and the idea on dynasties has been shut down by now. Number 2, Lystrosaurus. On the subject of dynasties, there's another problem I can't forget. They screwed up Lystrosaurus when it came to the scene of them facing their inevitable doom sometime after surviving a mass extinction. I know these little guys are just one of the examples, but I want to go with them because what happened was just so wrong. So how did they all eventually die out, according to Life on Our Planet? Well, they died because of them being a bunch of dum-dums who let themselves get eaten by predators. I am not kidding. Heck, they were even called, quote-unquote, the unwitting dodo of its age, and how the mammals lost their crown to the reptiles. Yeah, it doesn't take a paleontologist to look at this and go, what in the inferno did I just watch? It's pretty clear the Lystrosaurus were portrayed as being stupid animals just so Life on Our Planet can continue on with their superior species narration, which is very insulting. By the way, I wish I could give these little guys some boops on their snoots. Number 3, it's a poorly handled documentary as a whole. For a documentary that's expected to be educational and taken seriously, Life on Our Planet not only contained a lot of misinformation, but they also shamed numerous animals. Lystrosaurus and the terror bird being 2 examples. Not even modern animals like the marine iguanas are safe from being shamed by the narration of this program. You already know about my rant on the Dynastys storyline, so I'm not going to repeat myself on that. Plus, it gets worse when you take a peek at the behind-the-scenes clips. The attitude in some of these clips gave me red flags because some of these people were like, let's make T-Rex look more awesome by making him look scary. The terror bird looks like a giant chicken and doesn't live up to its name. Let's make it scary. If this were for a movie or a fictional TV show that's meant to be entertaining, hearing that from the creators wouldn't be too much of a big whoop. But for crying out loud, this is a nature documentary. Making prehistoric animals look scary should never be a top priority in nature documentaries. All that research they allegedly did behind the scenes, yet they still managed to mess things up. FYI, I do like the T-Rex design in Life on Our Planet. It's really unique, and I'm glad it doesn't look like a Jurassic Park ripoff. Although the teeth are all jacked up together, which really bothered me. And it's hard to look at this design without being constantly reminded that it looks like that just for the sake of looking scary. Plus, I do wonder if there were some new studies coming out during the making of this documentary and the crew just decided to not implicate all that anyways. Number 4. The cave lion and juvenile mammoth scene. I agree with everyone out there that this was one of the worst scenes ever. One single cave lion takes down a juvenile mammoth, and with just one bite on the neck, while another lion bites the trunk, the young mammoth just straight up stops struggling and dies on the spot. That is not possible. Just a few bites and then the mammoth just accepts its fate and dies? I call bull Huey on that. Absolute bull Huey. Seriously, that mammoth was like a light switch. If there were multiple cave lions taking a mammoth that size down, this scene would be more believable. On top of that, in a real life situation, that mammoth would obviously not die immediately from one bite or a couple of bites, and would just continue to fight for its life right there. What else can I say about this scene? There's also several small moments that make me shake my head. I remember one episode had an abrupt ending where it had 2 T-Rexes nuzzling each other, and then Morgan Freeman was like, nothing lasts forever, and then kablooey! The scene goes white after the asteroid hit Earth. Allosaurus, Triceratops, and Diplodocus are basically Jurassic World designs that got taken and retooled. While these designs could have been a lot worse, it's still distracting for me and questionable in my eyes. Oh, and they called Maiasaura defenseless.
I beg your pardon?
There's clear evidence of Hadrosaurus having features they can use to defend themselves. One of the examples will be having hooves. Having no horns like Triceratops doesn't mean there's no way to defend yourself. Oh, and one more thing I want to bring up. I want to give special thanks to my friend Jahir for raising awareness to me because I missed it when I watched this series for the first time. There were moments of reskins and shots being reused in the progress. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Let's start with some sauropods. This is a shot from episode 4 where it showed Diplodocus, and this right here is another shot right here from episode 6 where it's basically the same scene except now Diplodocus are alamosaurs with stripes. Not only that, but the scene is flipped too. Here's a screenshot for episode 1 where it shows Maiasaura with its babies. And this is a screenshot from episode 6 where it's the same exact scene, but now Maiasaura is reskinned as Edmontosaurus. Yeah, talk about awkward. Alright, that's enough of all that. I'm going to talk about more things I enjoyed from Life on Our Planet, particularly my favorite scenes. I liked the Camarasaurus scene, especially the part where it showed a bunch of these things swimming in the ocean during a thunderstorm. Seeing these creatures, especially Dunkleosteus, brought back memories of when I watched sea monsters as a child. I'm talking about the one with Nigel Marven in it. Another favorite scene of mine would be where it showed a curious Smilodon playing with some Didacurus. It was being like a giant house cat, while these Didacurus were like, hey, go away already. Smilodons are basically giant cats, after all, just like today's lions, tigers, all that jazz. One other favorite scene of mine would be Deinonychus. It doesn't have a lot of color on its feathers, but to be fair, there are birds out there in the wild that just have one color on their bodies, just like crows, ravens, etc. So it makes sense, and I like seeing Deinonychus getting some attention in a documentary. Overall, Netflix's Life on Our Planet is not all spectacular, but it did provide some enjoyment. It's not completely terrible for me, and it's not the worst thing in the world, it's just okay. I'll still take Prehistoric Planet over Netflix's Life on Our Planet, honestly. Even though Prehistoric Planet just focuses on the Cretaceous period, it at least knows what it was doing. Life on Our Planet has breathtaking visuals, decent CGI effects, lovely music, and some entertainment, but it has some absurd and exaggerated scenes, misleading information, moments of shaming animals, and a narration that treats living beings like a battle between the superiors and inferiors. Netflix's Life on Our Planet gets a 6.2 out of 10 Sickle Claws. I read an article that there's going to be 4 more episodes of Life on Our Planet, and like I said in the beginning, it is a bit concerning. Maybe these episodes will be slightly better, but I don't know at this point. I'll have to see once they come out on Netflix. And those are my overall thoughts. I really hope that the new Walking with Dinosaurs series has something much better to offer when it comes out in 2025. And as I'm recording this, there's no news on a season 3 of Prehistoric Planet, so we will have to see as more information becomes available. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.